Hello, lads. Rosie here, and last night while we were streaming, I was asked if I am going to give a review of the new Scream that's in theaters right now. Now, I've got to be honest, like I said last night, my original plan, I wasn't going to touch it yet. And the reason I'm not touching it yet is because of the fact that this is a franchise. I want to obviously do a Halloween-esque review of every single one. This is something I want to go and do more in-depth. I want to do a more in-depth kind of review here. However, I'm sure it is in theaters. I did just see it, and I'm sure some people that watch my reviews are slightly curious what I thought of the new Scream. Scream 6? Scream 6, lad. Well, so I just decided to kind of make I decided to make a first impressions video. I'm gonna try to keep this spoiler free. Maybe I'll say some spoiler things at the end. Or things that might teeter on spoilers. I'm gonna try to keep this spoiler free though. It was solid. It was solid. It wasn't the best movie in the franchise, nor was it the worst movie in the franchise. It was a solid entry. They did a good job. They're on a roll. It's about as good as the last one was. If you like the last one, you'll like this one. If you didn't like the last one, you probably won't like this one. This isn't gonna win. I don't know if this is gonna win anyone over to what they're doing. If you didn't like the last one, if you still can't get over the last one, this ain't gonna win you over. Because a lot of the same issues from the last one return, but a lot of the same positives from the last one return as well. So we talked about it being solid. There is a... what could we say that's not spoiled? I'm trying to think about how to phrase this. I guess I could talk about this because it was in the trailer. There's a shrine to, Ghostface in this. There's, a shrine, and they have a bunch of paraphernalia from the older movies. So, fans will recognize a lot of the stuff that's in the... I mean, some stuff they flat out just tell you what it is. And then other stuff that you'll just recognize. You'll see Steve's jacket from the original movie. That's in there. And they don't mention it. It's just sitting there. And then I think Billy's shirt from the final is in there as well. And then I think they do their best to represent all of the other movies. This is another reason. This shrine sequence is definitely filled with Easter eggs and definitely worth a more in-depth look. I'm sure somebody will do it before I get around to doing it, but when I do it, I want to add my two. You know what I mean? That shrine sequence by itself is definitely why I want to make sure I'm up to date on everything. They do bring back Kirby, which is something from Scream 4, which is, cool. They brought her back. The problem is I haven't seen Scream 4 in a year. So, they tell you what you need to know to remember everything that you need to remember from Scream 4. But I definitely do, I want to rewatch this movie in the context of the other ones as well. That's something I didn't get to really do, and I normally try to do that, but my fucking schedule's just so fucking bad right now. I couldn't make it happen. One of the issues that I want to bring up that also returned in this movie was the legacy characters just aren't treated right. I found that they did with Gale. Oh, I mean, Gale's okay, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I just find that Gale regresses too much. That's my biggest issue with Gale as a character, is that I don't know, maybe that's something, she slips back, she just slips back too much, and then, she goes back and forth from being, condescending reporter Gale to, selfish Gale to being protective mommy Gale again. She still feels like the same character that was in the first movie, and it's, Sydney's obviously not in this. I remember that blew up. They mention her, they explain why she's not there. But it kind of doesn't make much sense. No, I know they tried. They really did try. But 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 just the context of Sydney just not showing up, it's just out of her character. Which again, you know what? She didn't want to. She thought she's worth more than she was. I don't know what happened there. What the hell is she doing? Like, what other movies has fucking Nev Campbell been in? Let's check. 1, 2. Nev Campbell, Scream, first thing that pops up. Like, what else have you been in? Wild Things, 98. Like, what are you doing right now? Why do I don't understand why she thinks she's worth so much. Maybe she doesn't want to do it. I don't know. I read only a few articles about why she wasn't in it. Maybe she just didn't want to do it. You can't force somebody to do it. If they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. But if the thing I'm hearing about her thinking she's worth a fuck ton of money is true, then I wouldn't offer her to be in another one again. Kill her off screen. She should have probably died in the last one. Especially if she's not here to do them anymore. If she said this is a one-off, I'm done, they really should have killed her in the last one. For real. So Gale's kind of your only legacy representation. I don't know. You could call some of the core characters legacy, and they kind of treat them as if they're legacy characters in this. I wouldn't go that far yet. I don't know. Their explanation as to what's happening in this one, they say it's a sequel to the requel, and they're in a franchise now or something, but they've been in a franchise for 4 fucking movies, so that didn't make much sense. A big problem with... I've said this before on my Rob Zombie review. Scream is as mainstream gets, okay? Due to that, and if you know the trends in Hollywood right now, you never doubt certain characters. And I feel like I'm just going to leave it at that for right now. I don't want this to get into a whole debate over politics. And that's if you like but you never doubt certain characters. Like, they're trying to tell you everybody's a suspect. Just okay, I'm just going to be blunt. They're not making the lesbians the killers. Like, it's just not happening. Like, they're and just stuff like that. You never doubt certain characters, and that is a huge problem when you're trying to build up a mystery. So that's why I just tried to not care about the mystery aspect of these movies anymore. Number one, because it's kind of cheap in this. They do some kind of cheap tricks, but that's beside the point. Jenna Ortega's in this. She's still her character, whatever her name is. Tara, I have their names pulled up. Tara and Sam. Melissa's underrated, by the way. But that's... So, that very easy on the eyes pair there. Ghostface has actually done well in this. They give him the 2018 Halloween look with the kind of disheveled mask, and obviously the shrine to the past Ghostface's being there, you can kind of guess why the mask looks old as soon as you figure that out. Again, I don't really consider that. I mean, maybe you guys consider that spoilers. I don't. I mean, as soon as they said there's a shrine to all the past Ghostfaces, you kind of know why the mask is older. But Ghostface carries himself really well in this. He did it in the last movie too. His chases kind of had a bit more structure to them. It's a big issue for me in the Scream movies to what I don't like. I do not like the over-the-top way that Ghostface bounces around. He falls around, stumbles, he gets hit with this, falls on his ass. I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm a big believer in old-school Michael Myers stuff, but when you see the killer fall on their fucking ass fucking 40 times... that kind of just takes that. You should never see the killer fall on their ass like 65 times, unless it's like a truly unique situation. Like in H2O, Myers getting his ass kicked was such like a redeeming. It was such a good moment because he doesn't get his ass kicked. Myers doesn't get his ass kicked. He's had a few, obviously they do, the whole, he's dead now kind of thing every time. But to see Myers kind of, be inept, struggle with Laurie, stumble, get knocked off the second floor, to see him get his ass kicked in such triumphant fashion was rewarding there because the movie earned it. through 6 prior movies in the franchise, but to watch like a Ghostface stumble around in the other Scream movies, I don't like that. So I'm very happy to see that 5 and 6 have started to clean that up a little bit. He's much more competent now. He's when he's on screen, he's a much more threatening presence. I mean, not that he's not threatening in the other movies. It's just that, like, even Scream 1's guilty of this, man. It's just that the survivors fight back too much, and I think that was something that they wanted to give the movie a sense of, like, realism or something. But sometimes it ends up making Ghostface look incompetent. Like, the only reason he was able to get the garage kill in the very first movie was the fact that dumbass was stupid and tried to get out through the pet shaft. Remember how she tried to do that in the first one? She tried to get out through the thing for the dog, and then she got stuck, and Ghostface got a free lift her up, and you know what I'm saying? So thankfully, stuff like that isn't really there in this one. Ghostface not. There's still another Scream issue that carries over is that they're still very protective of their characters. Some characters in this probably should have gone and they didn't, probably because they want to keep them around for another one. That's all I'll say about that again, as well. That's all I'll say again. And then there's a lot of Scream 2 nods because this takes place at a college for a little bit, just like Scream 2. There's a scene where they call back to the worst scene in Scream history, and Randy's niece is talking about how stupid the entire thing is. Well, I fucking hate Scream 2, by the way. No, I like Scream 2 to me is one of the worst slashers in history, but I'll get that. I'll like obviously high budget slashers, not that cheap indie shit nobody watches. But so overall, it's still solid. Again, there are some cheap things, and I have some issues with the reveal in the final act. Just some blocking issues, things that didn't make a lot of sense. Somebody's here, and they were just there. Like, stuff like that in the third act they kind of took some of these immersion out of the third act, and then there's another fake out with there's another fake out, man. Like, they wanted to raise the stakes a little bit, but didn't want to commit to actually killing somebody. So so they kind of end up doing a few fake outs, and it's just, Scream's always been kind of guilty of this, so I guess you can't really hate on this movie specifically. It's more of a franchise thing, but just some issues when you're doing this one. You have, especially since you've decided to be good, you decided to be competent, you have a chance to correct some of the franchise's past mistakes and not repeat them. So it's so the fact that they continue to make very Scream mistakes is kind of frustrating, because, at least to me, because I think, like, there's a few things this franchise needs to let go of, and there's a few things this franchise needs to stop. Like, they need to let go of some of their habits and then embrace some others, and they're very content with kind of keeping up some of their mistakes, because I don't think people comment on the mistakes of this franchise enough. I feel like this as a franchise could, like, 2 and 3 are bad, bro. 2 and 3 are fucking bad. And I feel like if some of those issues were to just be corrected, it would be, like, much better. But but still, overall it was a solid movie. I think they're on a roll. I hope they keep going. They have no reason to stop what they're doing. The movie's opening well. And the movie's gonna open well, and then I think another one is inevitable. I think it's inevitable because it's doing well already, and then everybody seems to be on board with making more. So fucking go make more. This isn't bad. This is better than 2 and 3. It's probably better than 4. I like 4, honestly. I need to rewatch 4 again. But overall, if 4, I don't want to say 4 because it was so long. Like, 4 was good, and then, like, we're in a second wave of Scream that I think they should keep going with. Okay, so overall, this is good. I'm getting the hell out of here, though. I got nothing left to say without doing the more incomplex spoiler stuff, and I'll do that. That'll be another day. I'm getting the hell out of here, lads. GG's.